She may have to work. She's at Kohl's. I don't think they're open on Christmas, but you never know. And
I'm sure they're closed. I couldn't believe the King Soopers was closed.
I think, and don't quote me on this because I haven't seen one, but usually they have one open, like in an area.
Oh, okay.
But that doesn't mean that's true because I haven't actually. Everyone I've seen is closed, so they may all just be closed.
Any of them till afternoon.
Afternoon or something.
Sometime in the afternoon.
Well, yeah, all the King Supers are closed until tomorrow, but they'll open whatever morning.
Not like I want to go grocery shopping.
No, I mean, and if you needed something, 7-Eleven's open. I think
but there isn't much at 7-Eleven I normally would buy.
I mean, I had to get the cranberry juice for Logan in 7-Eleven. I got the orange juice yesterday and the muffins yesterday. But the cranberry juice for Logan, I had to get at 7-Eleven. It ended up being a little more expensive, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. I think we can get started with the word of prayer. Father in heaven, we thank you for coming and living with us, coming and becoming human, to bring us back into relationship with you, so that we can be with you for eternity. You came to us so we can go to you. I thank you for this opportunity to come together and study, and as we're getting ready to start a new year, help us to put our old mistakes behind us and start fresh and come up with maybe better choices going forward. Guide us on our study today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, so we got a memory verse. And this is an interesting story, and like anything, there's so very little on this particular event that we don't really have a whole lot we can say about it, because you really want to see at least 2 or 3 different scriptures, and really this story's only in one.
Yeah, it's even a minor.
Right. Now we certainly see some evidence of other things, because Moses was at the Transfiguration. Oh, hey. Merry Christmas. I was wondering if you were going to make it today. I thought maybe you're out doing Christmas stuff.
No, I'm sorry. I was just late.
No worries. We were late too, actually. We just got started. But happy Sabbath and Merry Christmas. A high holy day. If we were either Messianics or Catholics. I don't know. Do Catholics have high holy days, or do they call them that?
We call it Christmas.
We call it Christmas. Thank you. You told me. You told me. I mean, here I thought it was Advent.
The truth is, they call it Christmas, but you see,
Advent is the season. It's the Advent of the birth, and then Lent is when you're supposed to give something up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so that Lent is so you give up stuff so that you. What was his name? Moose. We have something in the afterlife.
All right, so this is from Jude 9, and again, this is a thing that we're not we don't have very much of anywhere else.
But we do call it a holy day. There are certain holy days.
Right.
There's a high holy day, low holy day,
just the holy day.
Like the resurrection and transfiguration.
And
well, that's what I'm saying. This is our it's not every day you get a Christmas on the Sabbath.
Right. And if the holy day falls during the middle of the week, you have to go to church on that day, or it's a mortal sin.
Goodness.
Mortal and venial sins. Now, where they draw the line on, it's like the difference between a misdemeanor and a felony.
Right. Fair enough. I mean,
that's exactly the only way to look at it.
I mean, I'm certainly not opposed to gathering together. That's good, fellowshipping.
If you take an extra cookie and someone goes without, that might be a venial sin.
Oh goodness.
If
I better
you,
make sure everybody gets a muffin today.
But if you were to like murder your neighbor, well, that's obviously falls in the more serious category. So it's like,
I mean, that does make sense, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm not. What
But
if?
in Catholic
Okay, but what
Church-
if you go back in time and murder Hitler?
you're not. That's not for you to say or do.
Okay, that's fair.
You ever seen the movie Fury?
Mm-mm.
And they're in this tank, and it's Brad Pitt and Sheila Beef. And Sheila Beef is a mainline Episcopalian, a Presbyterian, she's a mainliner. And they're joking, and he's always reading, quoting from the Bible, and he actually would, whether they're a German or American soldier, he gives them the last rites if they're dying.
Yeah.
But he asked them, he says, so does God love Hitler? He says, I suppose he does. And he says, well, is it okay if we kill Hitler? And he says, well, he may not be able to escape God's justice, but he certainly won't be escaping man's either.
You know what? I like that. All right, so this is Jude 9. Jude only has one chapter. So it's verse 9 of the book of Jude. Yet Michael the archangel, in contending with the devil when he disputed about the body of Moses, dared not bring against him a reviling accusation, but said, "The Lord rebuke you." So we're going to be talking about the resurrection of Moses. Again, very little actual scriptural about it, but we'll look at what we have. Also interesting is who Michael the archangel is, because we don't actually have a lot on Michael the archangel either. The Adventists teach that Michael is Jesus, and there is some scriptural support for that, but there's not conclusive. Michael the archangel is Jesus. Yes, that's true. That is what we teach. And there is some scriptural evidence for that, but it's not conclusive.
Oh, okay.
So you can't say for sure.
We cannot say for sure. One thing that
Catholics believe Michael the archangel was like the highest of the archangels.
Yeah, Michael the archangel is the
When Lucifer went his way, Michael the archangel was kind of the good one that stayed behind.
right.
And we can, in some of the Catholic churches, they just started doing this. They actually have a small prayer asking for Michael the archangel to protect us against the devil. Kind of like this verse, protecting the body of Moses.
Yes, taking the body of Moses. But again, it's all we have on that. Is basically this one verse.
I don't really tell you. In fact, if you look at the whole story, you see that Moses could have done.
Yes.
If God told him specifically what to do, and he did it.
And that's it. That's perfect, because we're gonna go look at that right now. It's in Numbers. This is on Sunday.
Oh, struck the rock, right?
Yes, the second time, because God told him to strike the rock the first time. But the second time, God said to speak to the rock, and Moses got a little angry. You know, when you're a leader, sometimes in the people you're leading, it's easy to get a little bit angry.
See, I thought he just told him to speak to the rock, but he struck it.
Yeah, that's this one. But there was a previous time Moses to strike the rock.
Okay.
But then this time, that is correct. This is the only. So we're looking at Numbers chapter 20, verses 1 through 13.
And in a sense, if you look at the story of Genesis 3, you'll understand why he was not destroyed. He struck twice. The struck rock wasn't, because rock represented Christ.
Yes.
It was only
struck once. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Paul is very clear about that. Is and that rock was Christ. I don't remember exactly where that is, but yes.
And that's the reason that the Jews were not that generation of Jews would never see Jerusalem.
Just to let you know, Frida probably won't be here today. She fell out.
Oh God.
Yeah, and the ambulance people, she's okay.
Okay, good. I was a little worried about her because she's usually here.
Yeah.
So she, just now she fell?
Yeah, just a few minutes ago. The
Well-
ambulance people are here to, do a neuro check on her. She just scraped her head a little
Oh
bit.
no.
But
Well, I'm glad she's okay.
yeah.
Oh,
She said to come and let you.
Oh, thank you. But pass along our best wishes.
All right.
Tell her
And-
she's a slacker.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a mortal sin not coming to this class on the high holy day.
Yeah, my holiday.
But anyway,
Oh.
so because it represented Christ, he was only
It's only be struck once. Right.
Christ was only going to die once.
Anyway, I'll read the verses. Then the sons of Israel, the whole congregation, came to the wilderness of Zin in the first month, and the people stayed at Kadesh. Now Miriam died there and was buried there, and there was no water for themselves against Moses and Aaron. The people thus contended with Moses and spoke, saying, "If only we had perished when our brothers perished before the Lord. Why then have you brought the Lord's assembly into this wilderness for us and our beasts to die here? And why have you made us come up from Egypt to bring us to this wretched place? It is not a place of grain or figs or vines or pomegranates, nor is there water to drink." Then Moses and Aaron came in from the present assembly to the doorway of the tent of meeting and fell on their faces. Then the glory of the Lord appeared to them. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Take the rod, and you and your brother Aaron assemble the congregation and speak to the rock before their eyes, that it may yield its water. And you shall thus bring forth water for them out of the rock, and let the congregation and their beasts drink." So Moses took the rod from before the Lord, just as he had commanded him. "O you rebels, shall we bring forth water for you out of this rock?" Then Moses lifted up his hand and struck the rock twice with his rod, and water came forth abundantly. And the congregation and their beasts drank. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Because you have not believed me to treat me as holy in the sight of the sons of Israel, therefore you shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them." Those were the waters of Meribah, because the sons of Israel contended with the Lord, and he proved himself holy among them. So
he in this,
yeah,
had credence into what
he didn't. And listen now, you rebels, shall we bring forth water for you out of this rock? This kid bring water out of the rock. God.
to do it the right way.
Right. Yeah. And again, I can understand after 40 years leading an obstinate people, you get right. Yeah. And again, I can understand after 40 years leading an obstinate people, you get a little frustrated. But
So basically, someone asked, they needed their lawn weeded.
yeah.
But there was a corresponding scripture you said that where it was meant to.
The subtext of these stories, everything in the Bible points to Jesus.
Right.
Some more clear than others. Let's see.
But in this case, I get the feeling that God just meant, we're going to make, living water from a rock and all that. That's obviously so allegorical, it's hard to look beyond it.
So Exodus
But in a way,
17:6.
he was just telling them, hey, I'm going to give you guys some water to drink, but because you didn't do it as I asked and you took credit for it, your generations will get to Jerusalem, but you won't.
Right.
There's a lot of allegory in there, but.
Well, right. So the Exodus 17:6, behold, I will stand before you, strike the rock to bring forth water. But then at Kadesh, he was supposed to speak to the rock. Again, because the seed only gets struck once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Christ was only to be struck once. So that's where the problem is.
And Monday, we're basically just going over the same thing. We've already talked. We literally are just talking about it right now. Is what did God say to do and why? We're looking at. That also refers us to Deuteronomy 31:2 and 34:4. So we'll read those. But yeah, otherwise, sometimes they have us go over stuff more than once. But I think we pretty well did it. Pretty well covered it. So what specific reason did the Lord give to Moses for why he couldn't go over, and because of what he did? And I mean, we definitely talked about that. 31:2. Let my teaching. No, that's 32. And he said to them, I am 120 years old today. I am no longer able to come and go. And the Lord has said to me, you shall not cross this Jordan. And then 34:4. Then the Lord said to him, this is the land which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, I will give it to your was because Moses didn't believe God. I mean, that's what God said.
But he wasn't going to allow Moses to taint the covenant. He says, hey, you're
You're
not going
not-
to get to go, but I'm
All right, I'll go to Tuesday. Deuteronomy 34:1-12. What happened to Moses, and what did the Lord say about him that showed what a special man he was?
31.
34. Added for next quarter. Next quarter, we're doing the book of Hebrews. I think it's going to be great. Also, Mom, Logan is playing the guitar in church today, so I am going to be trying to go on, trying to do a YouTube live for that. If you don't make it to the YouTube live, I can send you the link after. Can't hear you.
Thank you. That would be awesome.
Technical difficulties aside, if all right, Deuteronomy 34 verses 1-12, the death of Moses. Now Moses went up from the plains of Moab to Mount Nebo to the top of Pisgah, which is opposite Jericho, and the Lord showed him all the land, Gilead as far as down. Now, I don't know geography, but I do believe that this was a supernatural. I mean, I could be wrong. I've not stood at the top of that mountain. I don't know how far you can see.
This is over the horizon, so this was.
And all Naphtali and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh and all the land of Judah as far as the western sea, and the Negev and the plain in the valley of Jericho, the city descendants, and I have let you see it with your own eyes, but you shall not go over there. So Moses, the servant of the Lord, he buried him in the valley in the land of Moab, opposite Beth Peor, but no man knows his burial place to this day. Although Moses was 120 years old when he died, his eye was not dim, nor his vigor abated. So the sons of Israel wept for Moses in the plain of Moab 30 days. Then the days of weeping and mourning for Moses came to an end. Now Joshua the son of Nun was filled with the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands on him, and the sons of Israel listened to him and did as the Lord had commanded Moses. And the sons of Israel listened to him and did as the Lord had commanded Moses. Since then, no prophet has risen in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face, and all his servants and all his land, and for all the mighty power and for all the great terror.
When it says Moses was, the Lord knew Moses face to face, that was basically literal.
Yes.
Even though
Moses didn't,
saw
the Lord's face.
He saw Moses' face. And they talked back and forth. And so the first 5 books could have been written or dictated letter by letter. That's how long they were together.
I mean, they were together at least once 40 days.
Yes.
Moses.
But if you realize that right there in the temple, that Moses and him were talking all the time.
And the next person to have that sort of relationship with God, where God and I mean, obviously Jesus had that relationship with God from the beginning. But the next time we see a person appear in Earth's history that has that relationship, it's Jesus. Moses is the only other one.
Didn't Elijah also?
Elijah, God appeared to Elijah as a still small voice, but did not. But they did. Elijah, and then Elijah was called to heaven. Enoch also walked with God, and was called to heaven. What's that? Well, yeah, but Noah got drunk and then caused all kinds of problems.
It's not Noah's getting drunk that caused the problem.
That's not
the problems added,
right,
because of generational issue. Ham and his son laughed rather than covering it like the other 2 sons. And let's face it, what happened was probably before the flood, it wasn't possible to create fermented things. But after the flood, there was changes to the whole that it was possible to ferment automatically the wine, the grapes would ferment, even inside the grapes they can ferment.
That is certainly a possibility. There certainly could have been
And so
changes after
it
the
may-
flood. Certainly a possibility. There certainly could have been
And so
changes after the
it may
flood.
not have been totally Noah's fault, he just happened to get caught in it.
Well, Pastor
It
Bob
changes.
believes that fermented.
That's not,
Do not get me started on the Adventist beliefs as it refers
you have
to
to understand that.
abstinence,
Yeah.
because they are objectively wrong, and furthermore they lie about it.
Let me give you an idea of why they,
So
you ever heard of Molly Hatchet?
Yeah.
I mean,
Man.
I certainly have, but the name.
Molly Hatchet was this lady that went from bar to bar beating up the.
Oh.
I just thought I'd point that out.
And
And that was Ellen White's days. That was the start of Adventism.
I would certainly not
Yeah,
say
this is-
that you should drink, particularly if it causes problems for you. You should stay away from it.
Isn't it in Proverbs or the Psalms? It says, I can tell you, I know a person, myself, that can give testimony to that.
Indeed, that is true.
About 2 decades ago.
But that being
I'm
said,
pointing out that
you are allowed, and I don't know where the verse is, and it's not important, but you are allowed to make an offering out of strong drink.
Mhm.
If it was a
The
strong
fact
drink.
that you're drinking alcohol is different than getting drunk.
Yeah, absolutely.
trying to point out, people need to understand that.
But it's one thing to make the recommendation that you should be sober and vigilant, because that's scriptural.
And I try to, when I've had these discussions, he wants to eat biblically.
Sure.
There's nothing wrong with that, because let's face it, David ate biblically, and he, because of his diet, was more healthy. It's just makes sense, okay?
I mean, that's probably true, but I think you might be thinking about Daniel.
Daniel.
I mean, I think David probably did as well, but I think
yeah, because he
Well, I'm
says,
sure David
he says,
did.
then they take it to the,
Temperance movement was going on, that
but
had its effect.
the problem
there
for
was
me,
an historical bias that created some of the adamants.
Yes.
the
I'm just trying to point it out,
Yeah.
as you look at what was going on during that time period.
But they take it, the Seventh Day Adventists, the most rigorous
Here-
believers of their
get
theology,
some orange juice.
that because you don't eat well, you're destroying the temple, of which is the temple of God. It's like you're doing something, I mean, like that'd be on scale of a mortal sin.
I don't believe it is a salvation issue. But here's what the real problem is for me. There are good scriptural arguments to be made that it's better to eat healthy. There are good scriptural art. You can look at the
Like with
health,
Daniel, if
but
you know,
when you start twisting to support your doctrine,
it's called dogma.
that's wrong.
Yeah.
So make the real good arguments. You don't believe in hell. There's the Adventist. You don't believe in hell, so don't start me about my bacon cheeseburger. Don't preach a hell you don't believe in.
Right.
I'm not gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna be here for long. I just want to let you know that we need to pray because Frida just. Did you get the message?
I heard.
Yeah, they're taking her to the hospital to check for concussions and whatnot.
Okay.
We need to.
Okay.
just wanted to
Thank you.
Make sure you guys were kept in the loop because this is the most she usually comes to.
Yes, somebody did. She wasn't coming. But the last I'd heard, she was
I don't know
doing
how we
okay.
got off on this, but I always go.
I don't remember where we were going.
Let's see what a interesting conversation.
So they were so into the temperance movement because of the timing of when they came into existence.
Gross temperance.
Right.
So, I mean,
And again, there is nothing wrong with temperance. There is nothing wrong with abstaining from alcohol. Nothing at all.
I'm
If
not-
someone-
I'm
I
not picking
don't
on it,
even
I'm just
disagree with
pointing out.
abstaining from alcohol. I drink dope. I hate all of that. I like the way my brain works 90% of the time. And so you know what? And I don't like it being fuzzy.
but also temperance. I don't mind people that don't drink. I don't mind people that don't smoke. I mind non-drinkers and non-smokers.
So you're not
So what you're
pushing
saying-
one up behind the gymnasium over at your school with the other fellas?
No, I don't need another one to get caught doing it.
Oh, we are the
It's legal, so it
bad
must
people
be
your parents
okay.
warned you about.
Besides,
Being a
Besides, if I
pothead's
was-
not okay. I don't care if it's legal or not.
if I was behind the school doing drugs, I'd be doing interesting drugs like DMT.
If you say so.
Anyways, I guess we should move on to.
We're gonna go on to Wednesday, the resurrection of Moses. Read Jude 9. What is happening here, and how does this text explain the appearance of Moses later in the New Testament?
Jude 9, what?
Jude chapter 1, verse 9.
Oh.
Jude only has one book chapter. Jude only has one chapter.
Well, this one's.
That is very short.
But Michael, when he just rather than bringing a railing accusation, said, "The Lord rebuke you." Let's see if it has the other
So when
time
does
when
this
that
resurrection come up in here?
the resurrection of Moses. Well, Moses appeared at the Transfiguration.
Oh, okay.
Well, let me see if I can find it because there's a similar
He scared the bejesus out of
and short on words.
What's going on here, right? Oh, shit.
He swore like a sailor, and he was the sailor.
He says, I don't care what the man say. I need a drink after that.
All right. Just really quickly, because it looks like we're going to have a little extra time because we're a little short on actual stuff. We're going to look at Zechariah 3:2.
And the Lord said to Satan, and the Lord rebuked you, O Satan, the Lord who has chosen Jerusalem to rebuke you. Is this not a brand plucked from the fire?
Yeah. So Satan was accusing Joshua the high priest, which, as you know, Joshua and Jesus are the same word in here. I will slap the crap out of you.
I couldn't hear what you said.
He said you could, instead of saying Jesus Christ, you could Joshua, which is true, but I'm going to slap the crap out of it.
I need to enjoy every bit of it.
See that comment as a borderline if you were a Catholic.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
good news
It
is
would be up to the jury. I mean, it'd be up to the prosecutor if he was going to go misdemeanor or felony.
now, as a good Catholic, I want to know if you've heard this story because I discovered this.
No.
He slapped Arius the heretic. just straight up. You don't believe Jesus is God? Whap! So I'm just saying, I have a good example in terms of slapping.
I told you about the Seventh-day Adventist and the Catholic with the pearly gates.
No.
But you wouldn't let him in.
Well, sure.
And so the Catholic says, "You're Seventh-day Adventist. You're Seventh-day Adventist." This way he says, "Well, I kind of went a little sideways, and not only was it following the commandments, I was doing it with quite a bit of vigor. Letting you in." Catholic goes, "I went to church on Sunday."
Oh, me. Oh. I've got nothing for that one.
Don't tell.
You know what?
Don't
No.
tell the conference I said that.
Hot take. It is not going to
Said that.
hot take. Hot take. It is not going to church on Sunday. That's the problem. There's nowhere in the Bible that says you cannot go to church on Sunday.
They just prefer you went Saturday as well.
Well, there have been services in Catholic Church.
And if we have some time at the end, we'll come back to this idea of who Michael is because it's interesting and there's only a little bit, but
There's only a little bit in the biblical scripture that I consider canon. There's plenty of information on Angel if you look in places that the Adventists consider verboten, and by that I mean the Book of Enoch and the rest of the Apocrypha.
I mean,
And